This is the second video in the series for Word 2013, and in this video we'll continue on and start adding more understanding of formatting fonts, aligning your information, and finding and replacing. So we'll try to finish up most of the buttons under the word home. So we'll try to get all of them as much as we can at this point. Now what I want to do is I want to write some words. Now if you didn't want to type it, all you have to type the word equal, R-A-N-D, and I'll put the shift and 9 to start the brackets and shift and 0 to close it. I hit enter, and now I'll have some words automatically added to my page. So this is a faster way of doing it. Now you see these are my paragraphs ending. So this is 1, 2, 3 paragraphs, and if I want to put a space, I just hit enter to separate them. So wherever I want, I can start hitting enter. So that way I would be separating my paragraphs. Now you don't have to do it. I just want to show it so that it looks much better. Now you can also put more, like if I wanted I could put equal RAND 10 comma 10. That's like 10 paragraphs or 10 lines, comma 10 lines kind of a thing. Sorry, rand. So you should put the rand and then put 10 comma 10 underneath it and then hit enter. This is good enough for our purpose. So the first thing I want to talk about is the difference between save and save as. Save means I've already saved this file in the first video as Amir Word Video 1. And if I hit save, it will save it as this file. Save as means I want to save it as a new name. So if I hit save as, now it will ask me that same question again. Where do you want to save it? So I can click browse, or I can choose one of the folders from here, which it is there, but I'll go through browse. And then it shows that it's going to save in Word 2013, and I can call this video number 2. So I'll change it. I hit save. Now look on the top in the title bar, it says Word video number 2. So any changes I make will only affect this video number 2 file and not the video number 1 file. So this is the difference between save and save as. So a lot of time you may work on a cover letter and a resume, and then you want to make sure that you don't lose your original idea. So you'll do save the file and then open the original file and then save it with a new file name, or with the same file name but in a new location, because you cannot have the same file name in the same folder. So try to think about folders and files. And just for practice, I'm going to close this file. So I can go to File and Close. And I'll open a file. So you can do this. I start Microsoft Word, and I can even go from here, and I can see the last few files that I've opened. Or I can go through Open Computer and then Browse to where the file is. So I'll go to the folder first, Word Files, Word 2013, double click on it, and there's the file. So I'll open Word video number 2 file. So in this video I wanted to first start with fonts. So there is this section here called fonts. Fonts means how do you want your words to look. You can make all kind of changes. So the trick is to remember that you have to highlight something. If you don't highlight, the computer does not know what is it that you want to change. And when you point to it, I'll try this again, highlight it. Usually you'll get this window where you can make some changes with fonts, or you can use this. So the first thing you can do is you can change the font type. So there is this option here. I can change it to a different font type. So you see it's changing as I'm choosing it. So there are lots and lots of different font types. Next to font type, I can change it to a bigger size. So see, I'm increasing the size. And for that, they also have this button, increase, and they have a button for decrease. So font size, and this button here is to change the case. That means I can click here and I can say make it uppercase. So everything will be capital, you see. And I can go back here and I can say make it lowercase. So now everything is lowercase. And if I want now, I can say capitalize each word. That is, I want every word to have a capital letter. If it was like a sentence and if I had made everything uppercase, then I have to make sure. So if I change this to uppercase, then I'll have to choose the option capitalize, not capitalize each word, sentence case, because I only want the first character of the sentence to be capital. So there it is. The V is capital, everything is lowercase. So they have a quick way of making these changes. Now you can use this button which stands for clear all formatting. So I'll use that and I explain to you what it will do. So if I click it, what happens is when I clear it, it goes back to the style normal. And normal style is double case, right? Remember in the first video it leaves an empty line. And I don't want it like that. So I'm going to go back to no spacing. So whenever you highlight something and you start making changes and you increase the font, I can also add the color. This button stands for font color. And if I change my mind, I don't want any of this, I could just hit no spacing instead of using the clear option, because I want to go back to the no spacing style so it doesn't leave an empty line. So, but you can always just go back and change things here. So if I change the size, I can always just come here and make it size 11 or 12. If I change the color, then I can click here and just choose automatic. So you'll see these words, automatic. You'll see the word no something, to remove something. They also have options for gradient colors. So you can they have these features now, so you can check it out. Now I can choose to make it bold. B stands for bold. Bold means make it darker. I stands for italic, makes it slant, and U stands for underline, puts the line underneath it. I can also click on the next to the drop down button and I can choose different styles of lines. So always remember to highlight. Now as I press on the buttons, it will turn it off. So you can have it all on, or you can have one on, or you can have none of them. There is this button here which stands for strike through. So it puts the line across it. Now this x to 2 called the subscript and the x raised to 2. So I'll explain to you with typing something. So I'll do this here. So I'll type H2O and I'll type XY. So what I want to do is I want to make this 2 like the H2O, the way we write it. So I can use this 2x subscript. So, and I'll increase the zoom. So you see the 2 is on the bottom, and I highlight this Y and I can make it a superscript. So now the Y is on the top. So that's the way you can use it. I can highlight it again and I can press the same button to bring it back to normal. So that's always on, off, on, off. I can highlight it and just delete it. I don't need it. There are options like text effects. If I highlight my name, there are some options that I can add reflections. Let's see. So you see there's a reflection with my name. So there are lots of different text effects that you can look into. Glow. So you can check it out and you can learn more about it. And okay, always remember you can go to the help section to read more. This button here is called the highlighter. So if I highlight, like when you're reading a book and you want to highlight, so I can come here and I highlight this line or words, and then I can choose a color. Now the thing to remember, you think it's still highlighted, but you have to highlight it again. And I click here and I choose no color to remove the color. So just make sure you go back and highlight it again. And we talked about this, which is for font color. So remember to point to the buttons and read the explanations, so it will help you. So I'm just going to highlight this, and if I make it no spacing, it goes back to the way it was. Now in the font, there is this button here which stands for font itself, because there are some options which are hidden there. So if I click it, now in this window I can do a whole bunch of things all together. So all of these options are available up here. It's just that this is in one window. The only thing I want to talk about here is an option called small caps. I'm going to press it and I click OK. And you might be thinking that it's like uppercase, which is from change case, uppercase, but I'll show you the difference. I'm going to increase the font size. The difference between uppercase and small caps is that you see the A and the P are larger in size than the other words. So let's see if I can make it uppercase. Uppercase, you see, it puts it all together. Now if I change this back to capitalize each word, it goes back to small caps. So you want to go back to capitalize each word, you'll have to go back to this font. This symbol is called more, and you see a lot of sections have it. So I go to font more and I'll say remove the small caps and I'll click OK. And I can hit no spacing and it goes back to the way it was. I'm going to talk about this button here called Format Painter. What Format Painter does is makes your life easy when you have lots of headings. So say I had some headings, so I'll just come here and I'll start heading, type some headings. I'll highlight it, copy it, and I'll just paste it in a couple of places so I can show you. Okay, so say I change my name, I highlight it and I make it a certain font style, a certain font size, and I also make it a red color. Now I want to apply the same formatting to my headings. So I could go and do it manually, but the easy way of doing it is while you have it highlighted, double click on Format Painter, double click. When you double click, you see the mouse now has like a brush on it, and if I highlight this word, it changes to that. And if I scroll down, I highlight this, changes to that. You can even click on something, but you have to be careful because whatever you click on will start to change. When you are done, you can hit the escape key on the keyboard or you press this one more time to turn it off. If you only press it one time initially when I had highlighted and I just press it one time, then I can only use it one time and then it turns off. If you double click on it, it will stay on and you will have to turn it off when you are done. And remember, if I wanted to go back, I can use the undo button. So now you see it's undoing every step. And I'm just back to the way things were. So that's the Format Painter. Now we'll just talk about this section here for paragraph. I can highlight this and I can put my information in the center. I can move it to the right and I can move it back to the left. And there is one more option here which is available. It's called Justify. So I'm going to show that to you. I'm just going to scroll down here where I have my paragraphs and I'm going to highlight my paragraphs. So I'll just highlight these two. Now as I hit the word Justify button, keep your eyes in the corner here on the right hand corner. See what happens there. So you see how these lines are ending here. Keep watching that. When I hit Justify, now you see it lines things up nicely. So if you ever read a book or a magazine, you'll find that everything is lined up nicely because the paragraphs have been justified. And justify will only work in paragraphs because you gotta have some sentences. And what justify does, it starts to push some space in the middle to make it look better. And if I wanted, I could always go back to left align. So that's it for this video, and in the next video I'll continue on with this paragraph options.